treating you well. I thought I would jump on and do a quick live. I'm trying to do this more often, but just to jump on and say hello and to check in and see how you are. I wanted to share a few thoughts about overwhelm and procrastination and avoidance, because it has something that has come up for me quite a lot over the last couple of weeks, and when speaking to other people over the last few weeks as well, I have noticed that it seems to be a little bit of a recurring theme. So when I notice things like this, I do like to try and jump on and do a quick live just to connect in with you, to see how you're feeling and to see if this is something that resonates with you. And again, this is not about me telling you what to do or anything like that. It's just me sharing what's going on with me and trying to find out, if there's anything in particular that resonates with you that might help you if you're listening to this or watching this video. So if you're here, say hi, let me know that you're watching. If not, and you're watching the replay, do leave me a wee comment and let me know if anything that comes up during the course of this live does speak to you, and if it's something that you recognise in yourself, and maybe share your insights for how you deal with it as well. But I noticed over the last few weeks that, and I don't know whether it's just generally across the board with just what's going on, that everybody's feeling a little bit fed up with the ongoing stuff. But I think it was deeper than that. It seemed almost to be just a heavy feeling of overwhelm and frustration. Hello, Norma. I'm very well, thank you. Hope you're well too. I just seem to be dealing with a lot of overwhelm. And then I realised when I looked at it, I thought, I'm actually doing this to myself. I'm actually overwhelming myself, because I kept taking on more and more things and more. I was putting more and more stuff in my diary and things to do and writing more and more lists, and then was finding myself full of brain fog and I couldn't remember what I'd said I was going to do. So then I had to make another list. And I seemed to just be making lists about lists and pushing paper around my desk rather than actually getting anything done. And I noticed it was happening, but I still kind of couldn't stop myself from doing it. And normally I'm pretty good at picking myself up on these things and going, right, stop it. This is an avoidance technique, or there's something. Usually I do that when there's something that I'm putting off. So if there's a project that I need to get started that's maybe really big, and I'm going, so I start to put it off. Or if there's a particular task that I have to do that is heavy, sometimes I put that off too, and I find myself procrastinating. I find myself finding other things to avoid doing what it is I know I need to do. So normally I notice when I do this and I can pick myself up on it, have a short talk with myself and begin again. But over the last couple of weeks, I noticed actually it doesn't seem to matter. I just was completely, I think I was bored. I think I was just completely bored with life generally and was like, this is crap. Want to do something else. And I think I was feeding off the energy of the family and the household as well, and my, the wider community where everybody's feeling like that. So I noticed that I was just taking on all this stuff. I was filling up my to-do list with many more to-do lists. I was then starting to feel overwhelmed by all this and thinking, there's so much to do. I'm so stressed. And, as a Reiki therapist and stress management counsellor, it's not good if I'm stressed, because I'm trying to walk my talk. So I noticed this and I thought, well, what can I do? What can I do to fix this? Because it was getting to the stage where it didn't seem to matter what I was doing. It didn't bring me any satisfaction. And I thought, no, I don't really want to be going down this path again. I've suffered from depression in the past. And I thought, is this what's coming back? Is this a black hole coming back? Is the black dog showing its face again? And I thought, no, it's not even that. It's just sheer, I can't be bothered. And I thought, well, do I want to stay here? Do I want to camp out in this place? No, was the answer. I really don't. But at the same time, I wasn't quite sure what to do. So this carried on for the last week to 10 days anyway. It's been going on. I have been still showing up and doing what I need to do, but it was very much a really hard struggle to actually get things done and feel productive. And I think when you work from home as well, sometimes, you know, the boundaries between home and work get blurred a little bit, and it's difficult sometimes to set effective boundaries. So I noticed that I was maybe tuning into work stuff when I should have been maybe doing my creative pursuits or having some family time, and I was noticing that my structure was all off. So I created myself a little weekly time planner first of all, and sort of put chunks of time in of when I was ideally going to do things. And then I promptly ignored it, okay? And still didn't do that. And I thought, right, got to yesterday and I thought, I need to do something. What can I do? So what can we do? And let me know what you do when you feel like this. What shifts it for you? Because it's not a nice place to be. We tend to find ourselves, I don't know about you, but it feels heavy. And particularly when you're putting things off that you know you want to do, the energy of that starts to drain you because it becomes a bigger thing than it actually is. So yesterday, I sat at my desk yesterday morning and I went, right, I'm going to get to work. And I looked around and I went, do you know what? It's so messy in here. I have nowhere to put things. And all the pieces of paper that I had been writing on the week before, every day writing all these notes, they had started to pile up around me. And I was working on a smaller and smaller piece of desk. And I don't like that. I can't work like that. And I looked around and I thought, you know what? Best thing I can do right now is to disregard my to-do list, but not in a procrastination way, in an empowering way. I'm going to ignore what I said I was going to do this morning in favour of decluttering my space and sorting out my storage and making it easier for me to actually find things. So I did that. I spent 2 hours yesterday morning going through all the paperwork on my desk, getting rid of stuff that I didn't need, clearing out my books, sorting out my drawers and my filing cabinet and getting everything all tidied out. And then I went out into another room in the house where I have some other storage space that I knew was just full of rubbish. And I literally filled the recycling bin with bits of paper and junk that had been accumulating over the years. And it made a massive difference. All of a sudden then I had space, not just physical space, but actually it helped mentally clear my space. And I had been trying to find a way of doing that. I had been previously trying to journal, and I don't know if any of you do brain dumps, where you dump everything out of your head and you get everything just out of the way. And sometimes that helps, but even that wasn't helping me, but I'll come back to that in a minute. I've just noticed a couple of comments. Yes, Lindsay, you felt like that too. And you go out for a long walk or put music on. Yes, that's another great way. Getting out in nature is a fantastic physical way of shifting that energy. They do say even a 10-minute walk outside can just really boost and enhance your mood. So definitely worth getting into that and doing something along those lines. Absolutely. So for me yesterday, it was decluttering. I decluttered the space and I thought, brilliant. And I had a really productive day. I actually got stuff ticked off my list of things to do. And at the end of the day, I actually felt like I'd achieved something. So carrying that into this morning, before I saw my clients this morning, I sat and I was at my desk really early. Don't know what happened, strange, but I was at my desk at 8:30 this morning instead of 9. And I thought, well, I don't have an appointment until 9:30. So I have an hour. What can I do that's productive? And I knew that my head was still just a little bit too busy at that moment to sit in meditation, which is what I would normally do. But I thought, my head's too busy. There's still stuff in there that needs to come out. So I thought, right, where else is cluttered? And I thought, my computer's cluttered, my laptop, my downloads folder's just full of junk. I can't find where I've put things. Everything's all messed up. So I spent an hour this morning restructuring my laptop, putting things into folders, deleting stuff I didn't need, getting rid of things. And as a result, the laptop works better because it's got more space. I feel better because I can find things. And I thought, well, now I can breathe. And then what I have done since is that I've gone back to some of the brain dumps that I have done, where I've looked at all the stuff that's been going on in my head and just dumped it all onto a piece of paper. And I've actually then structured out, and I thought, right, okay, what's all this stuff I've taken on? And I thought, right, okay, I've taken on various courses that I have to study personally for myself. Okay, let me make a list. I made a list and then laughed out loud at myself at the state of me for the length of this list. And I thought, well, that's my CPD sorted for the year, and probably for the next 10 years there's that many. So what I've done is I've prioritised them, and I've decided one at a time, because you can only do one at a time. I also have a list of books as long as my arm, piles of them, and again I'm going to go through those books and I'm going to sort out which ones I need to read and which ones I don't, and I'm going to select and reject. So I'm going to select the ones that I need to work on and reject the others for now. It doesn't mean I'll never come back to them, but I will come back to them at a later date. So I started to think about this, and I thought, well, you know, this might help someone, might help somebody if there is something going on in your own head, something going on that's causing you to feel overwhelmed, to feel that you're avoiding everything. It might be that you're just sitting binging TV, or that you're, you know, feeling sleepy all day and you just don't want to do anything, you've no energy. Let's shift it. What can we do to shift it? And one of the things I do then is I ask myself, do I want to stay here? Is this energy feeling good for me? And just like we would physically clean our house, it's important that we physically and emotionally and mentally clean our space. So decluttering your physical space gives you mental space. Decluttering mentally by getting it all out of your head and brain dumping it, writing it all down. And nobody needs to see that brain dump, but you might then notice several things on it that jump out at you that need attention. And then looking at, am I avoiding something? Am I avoiding doing this work? Am I avoiding it because I'm frightened of it? Is it going to cause me difficulty in some way? Is it going to provoke a reaction in me? Is it going to trigger me? Is it going to push me out of my comfort zone? Or am I avoiding it because it's hard and I don't want to do it because it's too difficult? What's the real reason? And when you sit with that for a little while, you start to notice, okay, so for me, I was avoiding doing things because there was just too much. So I decided, let's simplify. And it was like I was in I don't know if you ever watched that program, The Cube, where they go simplify. And I just wanted to shout, universe, please simplify, and simplify everything. And I thought, no, it's not up to the universe to simplify my life. It's up to me, because I'm the one who's taken on all this stuff. I'm the one who has agreed to do X, Y, and Z. So now it's time to simplify. And you know what? It's like a breath of fresh air. It's like, happy days. So it's not to say that we won't feel like that again, because I think we feel overwhelmed and we feel, you know, we avoid things on a regular basis. We're human, that's just what we do. But I think the secret is to notice it, and to notice when we're doing it, and then to ask ourselves, is this really what we want? Is this really comfortable, or is it not? Because it's usually not. And you see, when you actually do face up to the thing and you do it. So I had a particular piece of work that I had to attend to yesterday that I'd been putting off. And when I got it done, all of a sudden my energy levels went through the roof, because it was no longer holding on to my energy. So quite often the things we're putting off steal a little bit of your energy each time. And when they steal a little bit of your energy each time, then that takes it away from you, which leaves you feeling drained, leaves you feeling tired. And then it becomes a vicious circle, because you can't be bothered, so you don't do it again. And it takes a little bit more energy, and it just piles up in the background. Whereas when you shine the light on it, you face it and you go, right, I'm going to do it. Even if it means I have to break it down into little small chunks, but I'm going to do it. When you do it, then all of a sudden that releases that energy, and it becomes available for you to use in whichever way you wish again. So you're actually taking your energy back. So hopefully that give you some sort of motivation and some sort of help with regards to, what do I do when I'm feeling like this? If you're feeling completely overwhelmed and you're feeling, I don't even know what my next step is, then the next step is to find out what the next step is. And I know that sounds silly, but that's actually it. If you don't know what to do next, then you need to sit and work out, what do I need to do next? What is my next step? How do I get from here to here? So that might mean I need to ring and ask somebody. I need to send an email. I need to pick up the phone and ring a friend. I need to ask for advice. I need to contact, an expert. I need to ask somebody. Has someone else done this? Has someone else moved themselves out of this space? Can I ask them what they did? Can I maybe jump on and watch a video, something like this? Will this help me? Okay, that might be your next step. And that might then push you forward. And then what I would suggest you do is you look and you take an inventory of what's going on. And I literally did sit down. I got a big, massive piece of paper and I wrote down work, art, because I paint as well, and personal. Those are the three main sort of chunks of my life. So my rocks and rituals work, my artwork, and my personal life. And I went, right, okay, these are my three major time commitments, my major things in life. And I wrote down underneath them everything that was going on, everything that came to my head about rocks and rituals, even stupid stuff like, cleaning desk and all this sort of stuff, daft wee things. And I wrote down then everything that was going on about my art, the courses that I'm working through at the moment, the pieces that I want to make, because that's where sometimes the overwhelm was coming for me too, because it was conflicting a little bit with my time for rocks and rituals, and I was feeling a little bit hard done by that I wasn't able to dedicate the time to my art. And then I thought, well, do you know what? I'm my own boss. It's up to me to sort this out. There's nobody else going to do it for me. And that was a powerful realization as well. Because overwhelm does hold us back. It really does. And yes, Lindsay, writing it down really does. It does help. It does genuinely really, really help to get it out. Because I think sometimes when you're overwhelmed, it's stuck in your head. And it's hard to actually ground that energy. And it's important that you ground the energy, because then once it's on paper, you can objectively look at it and go, okay, now I see that there's this element and this element and this element. Okay, what else do I need to know? Because sometimes what I find as well, when you're in that space of overwhelm and you're feeling stressed and wound up about it, you get brain fog and you can't think straightly. Can't speak straightly either. It's a new word for everybody today, straightly. Thursday will be sponsored by Straightly. You can't think straight. You can't think clearly. And what I found I was doing was I was writing things down and then couldn't remember what it was I was supposed to do. So I had written things like, from 9 till 11, admin. And then I was coming back and going, admin, what does that mean? What does admin mean? And I was going, God, right, okay. So I then took it a step further and I went, okay, well that means sorting my accounts out, checking my emails, answering my messages, jumping into my Facebook groups, checking for comments. That was admin. And then I wrote another one, content. I was like, well, what's content mean? So then I had to break it down further and go, is that content for Facebook? Is it content for YouTube? Is it art content? What is it? And I started to break it down, and the mind map then really helped. So when you're feeling overwhelmed, get it out, write it down, go and have a walk, get yourself some beautiful headspace, and then come back and look at that list and decide to yourself, what is my very next step? What can I do next? And it might be your next step is to prioritize what you want to do. And then your next step after that might be to go, right, okay, I'm going to get a diary and I'm going to block in some of the things that I want to get done. The secret is not to take on too much. So you might have 10 or 12 projects or things going on. Pick your top 3, just your top 3, and only work on those top 3 things. Because by doing that, you limit yourself. And if needs be, limit it to one thing. And if something else then tries to jump in and take your attention, then you have to ask yourself, well, which is more important? Do I continue with this one thing? Or do I switch and change to the other, because I can't do them all at once? So hopefully that helps. That's kind of what I do. And as I say, the decluttering element of it, the physical decluttering, really was the thing that gave me the kick up the backside yesterday to get back on track. And there's still a long way to go. There's still things going on. Life is still not perfect. But what I am choosing to do is to notice all the fear and negativity and all the crap that's going on in the world, but I'm also noticing all the good stuff. And I'm trying to keep a middle ground between the two, so that I'm not completely bypassing and ignoring all the bad stuff, but I'm not camping out in the bad stuff and not seeing the good. And I'm trying to see the middle ground between the two, and then keeping my focus on where it is I want to go. What is it I need to bring about that makes me feel good about myself and that makes me feel like I'm being productive? And because being productive and getting stuff done, having a sense of achievement for me is what motivates me then to do more. So I hope that's helped. I hope that's helped. The top 3 things, yes, is one of the best things that I've ever come up with for myself. It's stuff that my art coach talks a lot about as well, about projects, art, because you can get sucked into the whole project and creativity thing of the art world. And it takes so much time to create things that I think that's where my overwhelm was coming from as well, because I was like, I need to dedicate more time to this, but I have this responsibility and that responsibility. And I thought, right, okay, I need to just, what's the top 3? What's the top thing for Rocks and Rituals? What's the top thing for my art? And what's the top thing for my personal life? Those were my top 3 things. And I went, right, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to work through one at a time. And it's amazing, because do you see when you do that? When you actually dedicate the time, and I used to do this whenever I was doing management coaching and things like that with people and performance and business coaching, I would have said, you know, when you dedicate that time to that task and you turn off all distractions, instead of it taking you 6 hours to do, you find you maybe have it done in 3. Or instead of 3 hours, maybe you have it done in an hour. And all of a sudden you've got this extra time. So sometimes by really slowing down, taking a moment and focusing solely on the one thing at a time, and you've got your top 3 list of priorities, nothing gets in the way till those are done, and then you can add another 3. You know, being very strict with yourself and saying, right, okay, I've got 3 things, but another thing has come in. Which one of these 3 do I have to drop? I don't want to drop any of these 3, well then this thing has to wait. Or I say no to that thing. And that's really important, okay? So hopefully that's helped. I hope it's helped. I've kind of rambled a bit as usual, but this, you know, it's how I do these things. I wing it and see what happens. But thank you so much for your comments. It's nice to get in touch and to actually know that you're about. So thank you very much for joining in and watching. This will be available again then. I'll download it and stick it on YouTube as well so that you can watch it there. And if you think it might help someone, share it with them. You know, share it out on your page. Happy to help in any way. And as I say, you're not alone either. I think we're kind of all rocking this the best way we can and trying to figure our way out through it. But it always comes back to what's important for you, okay? And what makes you feel good, and allowing yourself to drop from your head into your heart, taking a deep breath and going, okay, what am I avoiding? Why am I avoiding it? And what can I do to shift it? And then just going with your gut on it and saying, right, okay, I'm going to declutter my space. I'm going to dump it all out of my mind, and I'm going to prioritize and focus. So enjoy the rest of your day. I hope whatever you're up to and whatever you have planned, that it goes according to plan. If you are in procrastination mode right now, use this video as a sign that it's time to go and do something. And even if that something is simply going and stretching your body and tidying one cupboard, or going out for one short walk, or picking up the phone to speak to someone that you haven't been speaking to for a while. Whatever it may be, do it. Let me know how you get on, and I will speak to you all soon. And get in touch, keep in touch with me, and let me know if there's anything else I can do to help as we navigate through these strange times. So thanks for watching. See you later.